Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. It's the day after Thanksgiving. And y'all, we had 1.5 inches of rain overnight and early this morning. It's just a mud hole. Everywhere you turn and everywhere you look out here on the homestead, it's soaking wet. So there's not a whole lot that you can really get done when it's soaking wet outside. You can't mill lumber and go work on an off-grid cabin because it's just a mud hole up there. Not a mud hole, it's drained, but it's muddy, y'all. That's what I'm trying to get at here. The pigs love it because it gives them something extra to root around in, and it's a little warmer this morning. It's in the 50s, supposed to get up into the 60s. It was actually 60s yesterday on Thanksgiving. Crazy weather we're having. It'll go from 20s at night to 60s in the day. I guess it's just fall trying to give way to winter. But y'all, I just thought I'd take the camera around as I do a few things this morning. We've already fed the pigs. We've already given some broccoli to the chickens. Lisa pulls up those plants, and y'all, you'd be surprised. They will devour even the stalks. They get rid of it for you. But I thought I'd take you around. We'll take a look, check on the animals. Got one little project I want to get done. Y'all, I'm tired. If you can't tell, I'm tired. I slept in this morning, actually, till about 8 o'clock. Kind of tossed and turned most of the night. But after you have processed a hog, processed a deer, y'all, there's a lot of work that goes into that. And it just kind of wears you down. But that's why it's good to have a rainy day to recover every once in a while. Let's check in on the pigs, see if they're enjoying the mud this morning. Y'all, I'd be lying if I said that when I open up the gate to come in here to check on the pigs, I don't miss hearing that little runt pig. He had just a personality and a half, and it's bittersweet, y'all, living this way, because we really enjoy raising hogs, breeding. We enjoy that. We enjoy the farrowing process. We enjoy seeing them grow. I don't enjoy the dispatch of the animals. I do enjoy the butchering process, though. That's something I've always enjoyed since I was a kid. Been butchering deer and wild game, and now as I'm older, butchering these hogs as well. And I can tell you from having done a lot of it, y'all, that I would rather butcher a pig than a deer any day. A deer is easy to skin. If you made a good shot on it, it's easy to process. Butchering is a little harder, though. They've got so much silver skin and sinew that you've got to deal with, whereas a hog, it's amazing how they are created. It's just easy to break down. In my opinion, there's not as much silver skin and sinew to deal with. It's just all, it comes apart so easily the way that they're designed to break down in the butchering process. It goes fairly quick. I really enjoy that. For some people, they may say it's just a task. It's just a burdensome task to deal with to get your own meat, but I rather enjoy it. It goes really quick for me. I've done so many of them now. But these pigs, y'all, they've got such personality. Each one has their own. And I enjoy to grow out. And these pigs, honestly, for 1 or 2 people, they are ready right now to process. The runt pig, and I forget what Lisa was calling him, I think Speed Racer. I generally do not like to name an animal that we're going to harvest and process, butcher, and put in the freezer. Just keeps me a disconnect. But y'all, it's hard to be disconnected when you're feeding them, you're putting hands on them every day. And you can tell that they depend on you for their food. They know you. When you come down here, they know it's feeding time. And these Herefords, y'all, for the most part, they are easy to handle. They're big footballs, though, and I'll tell you. When I say big football, I'm just saying they're shaped like that. They'll get up under you like a torpedo. They'll knock you down if you're not careful. So don't ever turn your back on them. Lisa and I have both been knocked down over the years, and we've learned, you know, how to handle these pigs. But Dixie will get put down through this chute that I'm walking in right now here in a few days. And she is real easy to handle. She's probably every bit of 350, 400 pounds right now. But she's streamlined, y'all. She is 100% muscle. But she'll follow us with a feed bucket, and she'll come down here to Samson, who has been working on this bachelor pad. If you saw the little short video the other day, and he is a smart pig. All these pigs are smart. Here he is now. I'm gonna hit that fence myself. He is constantly working on his bed. Don't get too close, but he's a good pig, y'all. I don't want him to get too close because there's an electric fence up here, so. Buddy, we'll leave you to it. Yeah, I'll let you get it. He's a good boy. He's gentle too, even to be a boar. And y'all, he is not as well endowed as we would like, but I believe he's gonna get the job done. He's gonna throw some bacon bits for us, but he's gentle. And that's what we really like about this Hereford breed. And y'all, it's probably got a lot to do with the fact that there's so much Duroc in them, which is known as a heritage breed for being gentle. Yeah, go ahead and drink it. Standing in a foot of water to drink water. But that's what hogs do, y'all. They will root everywhere that they are. Here's Dixie now. Hey, girl. She's coming in the barn. See, it ain't gonna be long, y'all. Here in a couple of days, we'll go ahead and lead her down to Samson. Yeah. But she's fine with this farrowing area coming in here. We're going to get this farrowing area revamped before long. We told you that. We're going to open it up. We're going to make it so that we can mitigate the mud and not have to worry about it so much. If we were in an area where the soil drained better, this kind of small confinement operation for farrowing would be great. But we need a larger area, so we're going to work on that this winter before we have pigs to farrow in the spring. Y'all, for the most part, Dixie and Rosie only come up here to this area of their paddock, pasture, woodlot, whatever you want to call it. Depends on where you're from and who you talk to and how you lean, I guess. They only come up here to where we feed them at when we feed them. And Rosie heard me down here. That's why Dixie, that's why she came up here to investigate, because she thought there might be some more corn. But y'all, there's an acre fenced in out here in the woods. 3/4 of it is for these two adult females, one gilt, one sow. And she'll be a sow once she's had a litter, but we call her a gilt because she ain't had no babies yet, Dixie. But we've got it separated, and we use the other side for growing out our meat hogs. And we use the largest side here for housing our adult females. And Buttercup, she'll be coming over here with Dixie, because Rosie, as you may know if you've been watching, she's 3 years old, just over it. She's going to get turned into sausage this year before Christmas. And we'll be having a lot of sausage gifting to give out, which is a blessing for many that might want some fresh sausage off of a small farm or homestead, whatever you want to call it. But y'all, it is not easy living this way. That's why you don't see everybody doing it. Not everybody wants to take the time to raise an animal, raise a garden, and all of that sort of thing. But I figure as we walk and talk, we'll talk about why we really do that. This is a walk and talk video, y'all. Hope you don't mind a walk and talk. That's what I got in me today. Walking and talking. Y'all, basically, we just like not really being part of the rat race. And when I say rat race, we were both in it. As you know, if you've watched Everything Has Changed, that video, and I keep pointing folks back to that because you'll understand why we're doing what we're doing here on the homestead. I was part of that rat race for, golly, right at 15 years, carrying a badge and doing that sort of work for a living. And Lisa, she does work from home. She makes handbags. She's kind of taken a year break from it, mostly to take care of me and help me get back in fighting shape. And I'm close enough, y'all, to fighting shape. Not really the fighting shape I once was, but I can get everything done I need to do, thank God. But y'all, we have tried to pull ourselves out of that rat race just because we don't want to be part of it. We like simple living. We like growing our own food. We like knowing that that food ain't had no harmful chemicals sprayed on it, whether it's meat or vegetables. When we process an animal, everything's clean. We do it all outdoors. We pick a good day when the weather's going to be decent. Everything's sanitized. When we're doing vegetables, we're not spraying any harmful chemicals on them. Everything, for the most part, that we do in the garden as far as pest control is organic. The only thing we used this past year, because the bugs were pretty aggressive there during the spring, and I think it's because it was so dry, they were looking for the plants for moisture, was something that is not, I think it's Omni or Omri approved, I can't remember. It was a synthetic pesticide that we used one time. I think it was called Bug Buster or something like that. Got it from House Tool. Monterey is the company that makes it. And something that we used it one time because our pest load was just so high that we were not willing to lose our crops. But 99.9% of the time we used organic methods of control, whether that's pyrethrin or I forget all that we have. We only use spinosad, we use that. But y'all, we had a good crop, even with some drought early on. But I'm rambling. And I know some of you say, I don't mind you rambling, ramble all day. But I try not to ramble too much. But y'all, when you put that food on the table, you know that your clean hands have handled it. Your clean practices have harvested it. Your clean practices have grown it. And so what you're putting into your body and your family's body and those that you share it with has come as a result of clean practices. Not saying that the major food industry doesn't have clean practices. Sure they do. But I can tell you, in all the years that we have raised and grown our own food, we've never had an outbreak of any kind that we had to do a recall on what we've grown. You're going to find, in our opinion, that the more that you grow and consume on your own, really the more healthy you have an opportunity to be. And the more that you appreciate what you're putting on your plate, and the less you're going to put into the scraps because you're working so hard to produce it yourself. Y'all, our last video, we ground all that meat up. We talked about our homestead beef. You know, the deer meat mixed with the pork. Y'all, I am not against a ribeye from the grocery store or the meat market. I love a good ribeye. Lisa and I both do. Matter of fact, we said this year for Christmas, that's what we're doing for ourselves. Let's just go get a ribeye, and instead of having a big, let's buy a whole bunch of stuff and give it to each other, let's just have a nice meal. Get a couple of things that we need. That's kind of how it works. The older we get, we both pretty much have everything that we probably want. And so we try to do things for each other that, and for Kyla, that we can use in the day-to-day. But we'll get us a nice ribeye here for Christmas, because that's just a treat for us, you know. All the deer I've cleaned in all my life, I have yet to find a ribeye on there that's as good, or a steak on there that's as good as a beef steak cooked on that cast iron. It's just hard to beat it. But as far as hamburger, y'all, we love our Homestead hamburger, and honestly, you can't make a better burger out of anything you get out of the grocery store. It's just far superior in our opinion. Y'all, before I wrap this thing up, you know, one other thing, day after Thanksgiving, when we talked about what we're thankful for in that other video where we were grinding the meat, but y'all, we're just thankful for our daily bread. The Lord has been good to us, and He promises our daily bread if we'll just trust in Him. And y'all, we do a whole lot of trusting around here. because we are not guaranteed anything in the next minute, especially not the next day, the next week, or the next year. We trust him, and he helps us to hopefully bless some other folks, whether it is through YouTube or through barbecue pork we're going to give them, or sausage, or vegetables. But y'all, he supplies our every single need. And we don't need to live like the rest of the world, always looking for that new thing or more money. There were times in my life where I was after that more money. But y'all, I've come to realize that, man, that rat race just wasn't for me. So y'all, this walk and talk hadn't just been about me rambling through the woods and rambling. I've been looking for something, and I have found two really good candidates. One right here, if you can see it, not sure about the lighting, kind of hazy. And another one right here, it's a little bit bigger. Y'all, I'm looking at the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. We've got a fake tree that we keep up in the attic, but I don't want a fake tree this year. I want a real tree. And when I was growing up, I'll tell you a funny story real quick. We would always, for the most part, we'd go find us a nice eastern red cedar to put up for our Christmas tree. Growing up in the van house, and one year, my dad had spotted one on the side of the road that was just perfect. And so we threw a hacksaw in, I believe it was a 1976 Buick Special that we had. The thing was about 20 foot long, but it would roll, had a 455 in it. And us three boys and Dad went down the road. Dad handed me the saw, pulled over, said, cut that tree down. So I hopped out, cut that tree down, you know, thought we were doing something that was just for kids, you know, we're breaking the law or something. Cut that tree down and slapped it in the trunk, and Daddy hammered down and took off back to the house. But y'all, those were good times. And I want to be reminded of some of those good times. So I'm getting a Charlie Brown tree to put in the house this year and make me remember those simpler times from long ago when life wasn't crazy, people weren't woke, and life was just simpler. Guys, it's been a rambling day. A rambling day. Hope you don't mind the rambling video. We'll get back to throwing in some homestead production here in the next few days. We're kind of taking it easy, y'all, here over Thanksgiving and probably about the week after. It's muddy too, y'all. Can't really work on much of anything, any projects. I am going to, probably in the next video, and I'll show y'all how to make a hog scalder. Because we got to scald a hog about mid-December. We're going to barbecue a pig, y'all, and we're going to hopefully bless some folks with some free barbecue. You can't beat that, right? May not have a lot of money, but y'all, like I said, we put our money into meat, we put it into vegetables, and we'll share that with folks. Guys, hope you've enjoyed a rambling video. For those of you that have stuck to the end, let me know if you did. That's just interesting to know if you actually stuck to the end of a rambling video. I'm gonna get up here to the house. I got a little something I need to work on, but I'll bring you along for making a hog scalder here on the next video. It's real simple, but I think you might find that interesting for some of y'all that grew up scalding hogs, or some of y'all that don't even have a clue what I'm talking about. Guys, have a good day, a great week. We'll see you on the next video.